An arrest is made in a double murder investigation in Manatee County where that suspect was found. And plans for a hotel next to the Venice airport have fallen through. Tonight, we find out what went wrong. Plus, an iconic building turned eyesore comes tumbling to the ground on Longboat Key. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, a 17-year-old accused of murdering two teens is behind bars. Joe Claire Justy has been taken into custody in Denver, Colorado. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office with more on that arrest. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, good evening. The suspect did turn himself in. He'll be back here to face the charges. The hunt for 17-year-old Joe Claire Justy is over. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says the teen accused of murdering two 18-year-olds early Sunday morning turned himself in to Denver, Colorado police on Thursday.
We were hoping he would turn himself in. We were trying to get word to him that it would be in his best interest to turn himself in. Just didn't think it would be out in Colorado he would do that.
The Sheriff's Office is still trying to figure out how he ended up in Colorado. Claire Justy is accused of shooting to death Caleb Bowman and Kamundre Pittman in the back of a mostly vacated shopping center in the 2100 block of Cortez Road West. People who live in an apartment building just feet from where the shooting happened are shocked this took place so close to them and glad the suspect is now in custody.
My husband said that he thought he heard what appeared to be a firecracker, which does go off every now and then, but he went right back to sleep. We didn't have any knowledge that something was going on back there.
Claire Justy is being charged with murder in the deaths of Bowman and Pittman. A motive has yet to be disclosed. The Sheriff's Office says additional details regarding the shooting will be released when he returns to Manatee County.
You never want someone on the streets that has been involved in something like he was involved in. So yeah, we're quite pleased that he's safely behind bars out in Colorado and will be returned here. It's just a very tragic situation.
And at this time, it's not yet known when he'll be back here in Manatee County, but it's expected to happen very soon. Reporting live from Bradenton this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Rick, thank you. An update now on a man who allegedly videotaped people with hidden cameras in his Longboat Key condo. Today, Wayne Nat was found guilty of one count of video voyeurism and has been sentenced to 1 year in jail. Nat was arrested last year after a couple came forward and cameras and microphones were found inside of his Longboat Key home. One of Nat's victims, who was also in a relationship with him, took the stand at today's sentencing.
What did you do with those videos and the pictures you took of me? What did you do with them? Am I out there for my kids, my grandkids, the neighbors, family, friends to find? Are they going to see me someday? I thought it was safe in your home, and I wasn't.
Nat was also sentenced to 3 years of probation and will have to undergo a sexual offender evaluation. Tonight, 8 people are behind bars after an undercover sting operation targeting unlicensed contractors in Manatee County. Deputies say the purpose of that sting was to find contractors working without the required contractor license and the required workers' compensation insurance. The 8 men arrested are between the ages of 33 and 61. Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. And Bob, you step outside at this hour, it is still hot out there.
Yeah, get a look at this, Jacqueline. We are looking at high pressure dominating the weather and also west winds bringing in high humidity. Current conditions, we have clear skies allowing to see the blood moon out there, but it's 82 degrees and with the relative humidity way up there, 85%. The heat index is at 90 at this hour. Hard to believe. But again, this cold front isn't going to cool us off either. It's going to pull up stationary over southeast Florida, and we have a little bit of a trough still hanging on, but that's going to fade away on Friday. Still a chance, though, for a few morning showers. That high pressure, though, will eventually bring us more of an east to southeasterly wind on Saturday. You can see not much going on here over land. We have had one lone shower pop up there just within the last 20 minutes or so, and we can expect 1 or 2 lone showers overnight and nothing heavy, nothing serious. And it looks like we'll see a few coastal showers again in the morning hours, eventually inland at the afternoon. 78 in Orlando now, 77 in Miami, 82 degrees. Currently, we have 83 in Sarasota, Venice, and Inglewood. It's hot everywhere into the low 90s. Right now, it feels like 94 at Cortez at this hour. More on our forecast and the change-up for the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. Health officials say mosquitoes found in South Sarasota County have tested positive for West Nile virus. This is in the Venice area, and it's the first time this year the virus has been found here on the Suncoast. No one has been infected yet in the county, but the majority of people who become infected with the virus will not show any symptoms. West Nile virus affects the central nervous system and can cause serious illness. New developments today on the proposed development of a hotel on the property of what used to be home to the Ringling Circus in Venice. Since the arena was torn down in 2016, the city of Venice has worked to develop that piece of land and build something that would benefit the area. The leased 12-acre property is owned by the Venice Airport and was recently rezoned to a commercial general property. They had been negotiating with Venice Realty Group for the last year about building a 116-room hotel that would also have a retail area. However, those negotiations fell through this past week.
Worked on that for about a year to try to develop an agreement that was attractive to both. We still are not in agreement on all the conditions. So unfortunately, after about 11 or 12 months of negotiations, we've terminated our discussions with them at this point.
Officials will now reach out to other developers who had initially put in bids for that piece of property. If that does not work out, the city will open it back up to the public. Tonight, the iconic Colony Beach and Tennis Resort on Longboat Key is being torn down. The 5-month demolition project started earlier this afternoon. Well, that's a look at the 4 balconies that were being ripped apart this afternoon. There are 26 buildings and 18 acres of property in total. The demolition comes about 2 months after the town of Longboat Key issued an emergency demolition permit because of safety concerns.
There's been a lot of great things that happened here, but over the last 10 years, the only thing that's happened here is the buildings have deteriorated, which puts us where we're at today. So it's time to move on to something new that can create new great memories.
Once the colony is torn down, the new property owner, Unicor, is hoping to start construction on a St. Regis resort and residencies, which is expected to be finished by this time next year. An update now on the historic courthouse in downtown Sarasota. The county says the renovation to the 1920s building is close to being done. Within the next few weeks, the scaffolding and fencing around the tower will be removed, and the Main Street entrance to the building will be reopened. The new dog park being built at Sarasota's Gillespie Park is almost complete. The park is located just north of Fruitville Road between the Rosemary District and US 301. City Parks and Rec landscape crews are installing trees and fencing. A shade pavilion is already installed, as well as the irrigation and plumbing for the doggy and human water fountains. The city says it should open sometime in September. Manatee County now has a new search and rescue truck that's ready to hit the streets. The Florida Forest Service donated the water rescue unit to Manatee County. It will help agencies respond to flooding and off-road situations. That truck will be able to drive through about 3 feet of water and fit up to 20 people in the back during rescues.
It could be used for water response for floods and for off-road capabilities. We could drive through about 30 to 36 inches of water with it, hold about 20 people in the back to pull them out. So I think it's just ultimately going to be a great asset for this community.
The truck will be available to help all public safety agencies within Manatee County. Today, the city of Sarasota put out a request to help the homeless, and in less than an hour, the community responded. The city's homeless outreach teams, also known as HOT, set a goal to gather 10 cases of water to hand out to homeless people downtown. And in just 30 minutes, a Sarasota woman, Christine Goodall, offered to buy all 10. The city says the outreach teams will use those water bottles as an icebreaker to build relationships with the homeless population in Sarasota. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus how these lizards are helping scientists understand hurricane speeds and the latest changes that you can see coming to Disney parks.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Harvard researchers wanted to know how tropical lizards survive hurricanes, especially following Hurricane Irma and Maria. So they came up with a plan. They used, get this, a leaf blower to observe how lizards hold on to a pole during intense winds. They found that tropical lizards have bigger toe pads, which allow them to hang on tight. Now, they do have their limits. They flew off the pole at wind speeds of about 180 miles per hour. Don't worry, there were no lizards that were harmed in that test. Poor little guy. You see him there. Like, oh, no, don't go.
Right into a big pillow, hopefully, right?
Oh,
yeah. 180 miles an hour, that's a strong hurricane, a Category 5, obviously. And we posted some things on our weather app tonight, too, about the Gulf of Mexico water temperature being so warm.
Okay.
And the speculation is if a storm were to get into the Gulf, it could rapidly intensify, like we saw with Katrina and also Harvey last year before it slammed South Texas. Anyway, that's a long way off, but we are entering into the peak months of hurricane season, August and September. Well, as always, some gorgeous sunsets here. Angela getting that one. This is always a nice one here. This is interesting. This is a Shikra. I had a chance to ride that this past year and with my daughter. Front row, too. I was not scared. It was fun. Anyway, this one interesting from the Sky Ride there at Busch Gardens. Thanks for that photo. And Bob Lombardo getting a nice sunset. And Art, we missed yours. It was on there, but maybe we'll get to it at the end. Morning coastal showers and storms are possible once again. Just a few, not a lot, and it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't rain things out. Fewer storms are on Friday because of some drier air that's still around, and we're in a transitional day. We're going to see changes this weekend with more showers and storms advancing from the southeast to the west coast of Florida in the afternoon and evening, something a little different. And it'll cool us down. You know how hot it is right now with the heat index past 90 degrees. Well, when you get these afternoon and evening showers advancing toward the coast from inland areas, as it cools things down for the evenings, typically into the mid-70s to lower 70s by this time. Notice these showers here. That's what we're in for. It's going to be working its way in our direction. You can see how they're moving from the southeast to the northwest. Right now, we're still getting that westerly push of air across the state, and that's why we're going to see 1 or 2 lone showers pop up, like this one right here, that little guy heading off toward Pinellas County. Nothing going on right now, just some false echoes, if you will, from the radar in Ruskin. There is a weak frontal boundary to the north of us, not doing a whole lot, and you can see that dry air in place across North Florida and the Panhandle. We are looking at some of it still close enough around, and that trough is moving out and weakening, so the anticipation for any kind of significant rainfall is just not there, and we don't expect anything to happen as far as that goes. But you'll notice as we go through time on Friday, a few showers are possible late morning, afternoon near the coast, but then those will push inland, and most of the activity will be in central Florida and along the east coast. But notice the clouds here and showers. They're going to be advancing off toward the south, from the southeast to the northwest, and you'll see that. There's the progression of storms there. This is Saturday in the afternoon and evening, and those will create other storms butting up against the sea breeze late in the evening on Saturday. So keep your wits about you and look to the sky. We're going to get some thunderstorms back to the picture, something we haven't really seen a lot of over the past couple of weeks now with this westerly wind. And the European forecast model is suggesting that each and every afternoon, once we get through Friday, that we'll see scattered showers and storms each and every afternoon due to that southeasterly flow. Now, temperatures are warm everywhere. Longboat Key, 85, a bit warmer there, 85 at Whitney Beach, 82 now in Bradenton. Kensington Park at 82 degrees, Northport, you're at 83, Englewood the same, and 84 in Port Charlotte, I should say. 82 now. Heat index, which is way up there at 90. Pressure's rising, 30.06 inches. The high today was 91, which is right around average. This morning's low was well above it. And no rainfall report today. We're still an inch and a quarter behind average for the year. Now, across the U.S., low pressure over Canada, bringing some cooler air across Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio tonight. That cool air is not going to make it here. And out west, it's the heat that's the big problem in the western southwest United States, with near record highs each day. For boaters tomorrow, southwest winds 15 knots, then they'll subside to 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Just a moderate chop out there. We'll see a light chop both on Saturday and Sunday if you plan on boating. Well, the forecast tomorrow, just a slight chance for those morning showers, a better chance for late day storms on Saturday, and that begins the cycle that we're going to see those afternoon and evening thunderstorms returning with lots of lightning all the way through next week, so keep that in mind. We're back into that pattern once again. Well, there were some good pictures sent in this week, and this one I actually got from the 88th annual Sarasota Tarpon Fishing Tournament. It's the oldest tournament in the United States, and it was a pretty tough fish-off they had recently. The winners are all there. Those are all weekly winners that you see right there, and the official winner of this event was Joe Sperry, who caught a 33.5-inch girth tarpon. There were only 2 of the fish-off that were caught during the fish-off, and Mr. Torek also caught one at 32-inch girth. The biggest fish caught throughout the tournament was at 41 inches, a 41-inch girth. So congratulations to all those folks, and always a successful tournament. They donated some $17,000 to local charities. Captain Johnny Walker took his nephew out, and his great-grandsons, Paul Dietz right there catching a nice speckled trout. And Captain Brian Marcy, there's all these camps going on before school starts, and this one was a fishing camp, and all those kids catching fish and enjoying their day. And Coach Steve Herrig always catching the snook. Call him the snook guy from now on. This is Holly from Ohio, OHIO, with a nice snook.
There you go. All right, looks like a great time out on the water. Thank you, Bob. Well, happening in Florida, final security measures are being put into place before school starts next month. And when students return to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, they'll no longer have to wear see-through backpacks, but they must walk through metal detectors. Other changes include a buzzer system for the front office, additional resource officers, new cameras, more fencing, and new locks on the door, as well as a new fire alarm tone. The previous tone of the fire alarm, which went off during the February 14th shooting, took an emotional toll on students. The school will continue to require its staff and students to wear an identification badge at all times while on campus. Accused Seminole Heights killer Hal Donaldson III has been found competent to stand trial. 3 doctors made that decision after each evaluated Donaldson. He's accused of killing 4 people in the Tampa neighborhood of Seminole Heights over a 5-week period last year. If he is found guilty during the trial, he could face the death penalty. New developments tonight in a Pinellas County Stand Your Ground debate. Well-known civil rights attorney Ben Crump is now representing the family of Marquise McLaughlin, who was shot and killed by a man over what appears to be an argument over a parking spot. Crump previously represented the family of Trayvon Martin, the teenager who was shot and killed in 2012 by George Zimmerman. Now Crump is calling for a change to the controversial law.
They could have just let the police do their job. But these wannabe cops initiated the confrontation and shot and killed in cold blood these unarmed black men.
In the interaction all caught on camera, McLaughlin is seen leaving the store and confronting Michael Draka, who then pushed him to the ground. Seconds later, Draka shot and killed him. Coming up on the November ballot, dog racing. The proposed constitutional amendment will ban greyhound racing at Florida dog tracks if it is passed. The Florida Greyhound Association filed a lawsuit back in May to keep the proposed amendment off of the ballot. They say it's misleading and inaccurate. Today, a judge in Leon County heard their arguments.
Proponents can lie to the CRC, they can lie to the media, they can even lie to the people of the state of Florida. They cannot lie to the courts without severe consequences. And that's why the only alternative we had to protect 3,000 jobs and 8,000 beautiful greyhounds was to take this to the court.
Florida voters love dogs, and they don't support them being confined, injured, and certainly dying. And the cruelty that goes along with the industry, it's inhumane. And people love dogs, and once people know, they'll vote yes on 13, and the industry knows that.
If that amendment gets approval from 60% of voters, it will outlaw greyhound racing at Florida tracks by the year 2020. Researchers are reporting a spike in the number of sea turtle deaths in Florida waters plagued by a red tide bloom. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has documented 287 sea turtle deaths in the Gulf along the southwest Florida coast since the toxic bloom started in October. That's about double the average number of turtle deaths in those waters every year. FWC says turtles become sick and die when their food gets contaminated by those toxins. Well, the happiest place on earth will soon be straw-free. The Walt Disney Company plans to get rid of plastic straws and stirrers at all of its locations by mid-2019. The company says this will reduce more than 175 million straws and 13 million stirrers each year. Disney World also plans to reduce the number of plastic shopping bags by offering guests the option to buy reusable ones. And speaking of amusement parks, Universal's Halloween Horror Nights is releasing some more insight into this year's Halloween festivities. The 10 haunted houses that make up Halloween Horror Nights will have a carnival theme this year, so if you don't like clowns, well, you're out of luck. The haunted houses open in mid-September and will terrorize visitors through the beginning of November. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel's New Tonight with bestie Adam Carolla.
I would watch that.
The superb Sam Hewitt. Yaya is talking about the movie.
Action!
And we play You Catch It, You Keep It.
3, 2, 1.
Emmy-nominated Kimmel. New Tonight on ABC.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids?
Play that makes us think, or helps us pretend, or teaches us rules, or to be creative. Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Good morning, I'm Stephanie Webb. The Baltimore Orioles are hosting the latest installment of their series of youth baseball clinics in Sarasota. We'll tell you more about how you can get involved. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. Josh?
And our Friday looks to be rather quiet as far as the radar is concerned, and then things start to change as we get into the weekend. We'll have all the details coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Investigate TV tackles the tough topics.
What happened to my life was awful.
When your health is compromised, we investigate.
They are really drug dealers in white coats.
Corporate greed exposed.
How do you trust them to run this program?
The powerful held accountable with in-depth journalism led by award-winning journalist Lee Zurich. We're your watchdog. Search Investigate TV on your Roku device. Download it now.
Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers practicing for the first time today in Tampa, but football and the team's chances to make the playoffs this season taking a backseat to their quarterback's off-the-field issues. The NFL suspending Jameis Winston for their first 3 games of the season for inappropriately touching a female Uber driver nearly 2.5 years ago. Winston taking questions from the media for the first time since that suspension was announced. Winston says he's apologized to his teammates and is ready to put this behind him.
The difficult thing is not being able to be out there on the field. And that's going to be very tough because I don't want to miss any opportunity with my brothers. But, man, I have to say my teammates have had my back this entire time. And, and I love them for that.
NFL training camps are opening this week, and once those games begin, you can expect the Dallas Cowboys players to stand for the national anthem. Team owner Jerry Jones says the Cowboys will not support players who choose to stay in the locker room while the anthem is played. Right now, the NFL and the Players Union are fighting over whether players should be required to stand. A policy that was approved back in May required players to stand and show respect, or they could choose to stay in the locker room while it's played. Any player who decided to protest would, however, be fined. Well, that's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC7 News at 4. ABC7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC7.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Wildlife officers rescued a bear stuck in a sewer drain in Colorado Springs today. It's not clear how that black bear managed to get itself stuck in the drain, but Colorado Parks and Wildlife tweeted that with no obvious exit available, officers would open a manhole cover above the animal in hopes that it would climb out. About 6 minutes after that manhole cover was removed, out came the bear, estimated to be about 3 to 4 years old and about 250 pounds. I used to live in Colorado Springs, and I actually used to see some that would run through our backyard all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, all the different wildlife you see out there. We have our gators, and we are looking at showers and storms returning in the afternoon over the weekend too. So keep that in mind. And pretty quiet though tomorrow.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you, Bob. And thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a good one.